Let me introduce David Lehman.
Thank you all for coming. We have an all-star lineup of poets, each of whom has had poems in various editions of West American poetry, and each of whom is illustrious in some unique way. Now, as the series editor of this anthology, I don't allow my own work to be included except 1 year. The very first year we were in operation, 1988. The guest editor was John Ashbery, and he wanted to include a poem of mine. And at that time, we thought that maybe we would have 1 year of Best American Poetry, and then the publisher would then decide that it was a fruitless endeavor, and it would not be renewed. So I thought, well, if John Ashbery chooses a poem of yours, we better say yes. And it turned out that the series was successful enough to get renewed. And in fact, we've had 24 of them. And that shows that poetry has an audience. A readership that makes up in its intensity of devotion and passion what it may lack in sheer numbers. And I did want to read the one poem of mine that has appeared in the series. It's called Operation Memory, and it was the title poem of my second book. And I wrote it on my birthday in 1986, when I was 11 years old, my first poem. It's called Operation Memory. It's in the form of a sestina, and you know, there are 39 lines in the sestina and 6 words that recur in a predetermined order. And this poem conforms to the rules of this recondite form, except that one of the words is a variable. It's a number, and the number changes. And that's all you need to know. In fact, you didn't need to know that or anything else. Operation Memory. We were smoking some of this knockout weed when Operation Memory was announced. To his separate bed, each soldier went, counting backwards from 100, with a needle in his arm. And there I was, in the middle of a recession, in the middle of a strange city, between jobs and apartments and wives. Nobody told me the gun was loaded. We'd been drinking since early afternoon. I was loaded. The doctor made me recite my name, rank, and serial number when I woke up sweating in my civvies. All my friends had jobs as professional liars, and most had partners who were good in bed. What did I have? Just this feeling of always being in the middle of things, and the luck of looking younger than 50. At dawn, I returned to draft headquarters. I was 18 and counting backwards. The interviewer asked one loaded question after another, such as why I often read the middle of novels, ignoring their beginnings and their ends. When had I decided to volunteer for intelligence work? In bed with a broad, I answered, with locker room bravado. The truth was, jobs were scarce, and working on Operation Memory was better than no job at all. Unamused, the judge looked at his watch. It was 1970 by the time he spoke. Recommending clemency, he ordered me to go to bed at noon and practice my disappearing act. Someone must have loaded the harmless gun on the wall in Act 1 when I was asleep. And there I was, without an alibi, in the middle of a journey down nameless, snow-covered streets, in the middle of a mystery or a muddle. These were the jobs that saved men's souls. Or so I was told. But when the orphans assembled for their annual reunion 10 years later on the playing fields of Eton, each unloaded a kit bag full of troubles and smiled bravely and went to bed. Thanks to Operation Memory, each of us woke up in a different bed or coffin with a different partner beside him in the middle of a war that had never been declared. No one had time to load his weapon or see to any of the dozen essential jobs preceding combat duty. And there I was, dodging both bullets, nearly 1 in a million, whose lucky number had come up. When it happened, I was asleep in bed, and when I woke up, it was over. I was 38, on the brink of middle age, a succession of stupid jobs behind me, a loaded gun on my lap. Well, we have many readers tonight, and the first of them is Jason Schneiderman. Jason is an extraordinarily accomplished essayist as well as poet. He writes beautifully about poetry in magazines such as American Poetry Review. And his own poems are spectacular and have been anthologized in Best American Poetry at least once. But they will be in many, many times. Jason Schneider.
This is the poem that was in Best American. Moscow. For a while, I was alone, so I dated whoever's work I was reading, but the relationships always ended badly. I wasn't smart enough for Wayne, I wasn't caustic enough for David. Kevin and I were doing well, but then I met his real boyfriend, and it turns out I'm not his type. Sometimes I broke it off. John got to be too depressing. Fyodor was a bad provider. After France, I started dating myself, and that was nice. Of course, then I met you, and I had to stop being the man in my life. I miss me sometimes, but we'll always have Moscow. Probability. And now the world cracks open like an enormous egg, but not really, haha, nothing really cracks the world open, not even that meteor that killed the dinosaurs. The world was fine, still there, even if not quite the world it had been the day before. Like how Dresden was still there, but not quite Dresden, or Hiroshima, how it was there, but not quite Hiroshima. The statistical probability of being a dinosaur at the moment that the meteor hit is impossible to calculate, because you would have to know whether any given dinosaur was as likely to be any other given dinosaur, or whether any living thing is as likely to be any other living thing. But no matter what, the chance was tiny. No matter how you do the math, every single dinosaur was statistically safe from meteors. But then again, here we are, you and me, as human and furless as we might have hoped. Tiny teeth, opposable thumbs, and all the birds locked out of our safe, insured houses.
That was wonderful, Jason. And you were asked to read for 7 minutes, and you proved Einstein's relativity theory. 7 minutes equals 45 seconds. But they were brilliant seconds. And we wanted thirds. I stand corrected. Our next reader is Truck Darling. Truck Darling has had poems in the Best American Poetry in 2004 and also in 2010. Her books include Blue Collar Holiday, which was published by Hanging Loose Press. And she's also published a book, which I haven't read, but I'm very eager to read, called Ich habe Angst am meinen Hedgefonds, which is in German. the title anyway. And I don't know whether she will read that or surprise us with something equally great. Here she is, Truck Darling.
Good evening. It's an honor to be in this fantastic anthology and also with such illustrious companies. Thank you very, very much. It's a privilege. It's a beautiful venue. And thank you, Mike, as well, for organizing this. This poem I'll read first is from Best American, and it was originally published by my press, News. Pillow Talk. As an insomniac compulsively flips a pillow to cool the cheek, I turn you over again and again and again in my mind when I need the cold side of the said affair to rail against, the ruinous work of nostalgia. If life imitates art, then each stillborn has its own mucus bright blue period. Sharks keep moving to prevent dying. People keep moving too, unwittingly staving off the comfort of stasis, the virility of expiration, blah, blah. But death, the great highlighter, makes us all shine a bit more dearly. I'm a widow child who needs sunblock against your blinding legacy. I used to get my cardio up by just sleeping next to you. In a sane world, I'd be bumped off to warn the others of the sky so blue at the end of the working business day, if your veins hadn't stolen the purest pearl paint blue first. A broken thoroughbred, I need a passport and vertigo pills to reach you. Godspeed, galloping into your misty blue. Oh my God, I miss you. And then I'll read two new ones. The righteous must be kind. Nudged and sweetly stranded in the Olive Garden. Thank you, my heart is infested with ballpoint pens and synth pop. Thank you for my Catholic taste in lovers and my Catholic taste in lovers. Thank you, I shed one identity and pick up another. Thank you if I forget Jerusalem one day, for the Oshkosh childhood of roughhousing in the ice rink arcade, and the reminder a butch impulse to revenge causes much carnage. So instead, thanks for the whistleblower who almost cost me my peace. Beyond vaccines and archery sets, thank you I am not ripe for stabbing or raping or dying. Thank you I breakfast daily on your promise and Pop-Tarts and the verboten eaves of Hell's Kitchen, dripping red brick creamsicle of sediment during a hurricane. So thank you for easy decay in the sphere of nostalgia, the museum of preserved loves. Thank you, my vocabulary saves me each and every time. Thank you for attic quilts and bikes with hand-wash streamers. Thank you for seeing me, such a distressed child, through with the pain, painterly, and the joy, layered. Thank you for breaking my fever today. Thank you for the release of salty sobbing inside the furtive dig to unearth something worth keeping. And thank you, still we remain, sullen children of earth, squinting down on those we've buried, but not forever, thank God. Thank you for the challenge of transforming seemingly unmalleable hearts, lives, and history. Thank you for braiding the wheat and tares together in the locked-up, tufty world body. Thank you for sending the angels from the Commonwealth to move aside my stumbling blocks so I can crawl home in time for dusk on the fire escape with the parrot who recites the prayers I forget in panic. And when I am home, which is everywhere I tread, surrounded by Gregorian blaring and nocturnal butterfly kisses on my eyelids, thank you, I am so filthy rich in your pure and precious love. And I'll finish with this one. The God of love my comfort is. Thank you for surrounding me in your presence through the light of the stars. Those blonde, darting roaches glowing beneath my cot, surging in the same soft, grace, and love. The amber envelope you slip me safely inside till dawn comes. Please help me in a way that only you can, to understand in my arterial treehouse, in my blue meth basement, that you are my parent and care for me no matter what. Help me eject the fever dream, the grisly nihilism on camera, and insert my alarmingly handsome future. Help me believe in horizons now. Make me a muscular wreck of joy instead of a whispering penitent. When I remember, I am yours. Thank you for insular romanticism when I need it, but help me metabolize the frailty of all other loves and be at peace with that. Thank you for the lonely men I could not understand then. Thank you that I am sometimes hungry to love and sometimes just hungry. Thank you for rubbing tiger balm on my wing scars at night. Thank you, my nights will grow shorter. Thank you for discordant loneliness when I need to be interrupted back to you. Thank you, love, for being my comfort, whose goodness faileth never. I nothing lack if I am yours, and yours, and yours. I nothing lack if I am yours forever. Thank you for the artist who made a sweater for the tree on my street. Thank you, the most important thing in this world we share is our love for each other. Thank you for an enlarged cranium and a donut Bradley gave me, and then the one I stole. Thank you, I don't have to atone for being precious through acts of sacrifice. Thank you for making me feral, but softening injuries you didn't author, so I stay connected. Thank you for challenging me not to use only what I have, but also what I've lost to connect to people. Thank you, the places, the times, the moments when I seem to have lost so much are really the times and places I'm beginning to find what's actually important to me. Thank you that the Chrysler building looks like a tinfoil asparagus tip when the sun hits it, definitely. Search my wandering spirit that soul bombs in the Cybert desert and help me find your hydration, umbilical cord, rest. Thank you for my gift of home writing, my toilet on the chain. Thanks for being my bullet catcher devoid of chest tones. Thank you that I will never cut anything with Drano again. Thank you I don't have to hold my fire. Thank you I won't die of exposure. Thank you for Greek love. Thank you for crying out on behalf of the exploited. Thank you for welcoming me, an orphan in need, into your heart, and for welcoming my parents also the same way. Thank you for always reducing the debt. Thank you for black tea on polar mornings. Thank you for all the sandbars in my life, the ledges you find me on, electric and cringeworthy with a broken divining rod, surfing through and archiving the past, radically atemporal. Thank you for making it easier to restart time, relaxed, excited, sincere. Thank you for the precipitation of angels' arms, the anticipation index of living in a way that guarantees we will all be happy to see each other, in a way that will make life on earth the way it is in heaven. Thank you, a little girl can harbor that our relationships have a saving quality about them. Thank you, I am your child and I belong to you. Thank you that upon crying out, I find you to be true. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've heard some wonderful poems tonight, and I hope you will give a round of applause to our poets. Thank you, poets. Thank you, Tim, Jason, Greg, Marilyn.
All the poets back on stage. Every poet who read it on stage. We do it for the poet.
Everyone get on the stage and
All the poets.
take your clothes off. That's the idea. And now we will all sing a chorus.
Short people in front. Let you guys decide. Short people in front, taller in back.
We're going to sing a chorus now.
Christina, Christina, our hostess, everybody. This is where the photographers earn their money. They shot everybody's together. Christina, get in here. Come on.
Christina, get in here.
Everything about it is appealing. Everything the traffic will allow. Nowhere can you get that.
Guys, take a few of these, okay? The Yankees just scored next.
Yeah, they did. The Yankees did. I think we can
the turkey that you know will fold, we might be stranded out in the cold. Still, you wouldn't trade it for a sack of gold. Let's go on with the show. Let's go on with the show. I thought we were in the key of